Hello, everyone, and welcome to another or a new episode of Shapiro Feature Walkthroughs, or maybe Integration Spotlight. I'm joined today by Yosef Haz, our VP of Product. So, how are you today, Yosef?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. So, I'm looking forward to learning more about Shapiro and its amazing features and integrations. So, today we're exploring a new integration. So, what is Make.com?
So Make.com is an automation platform. It allows you to automate tasks that you may previously have to do manually or one at a time. It's a great platform. You can build integrations to pull data from many different sources, and now you can pull data from Shapiro and also do updates in Shapiro. So, yeah, it's a great no-code platform. A lot of drag and drop, as you'll see. Easy to work with and easy to build some really nice automations. Today, what I'm going to do is walk you through just an example automation using the Shapiro app. So I'll give you an overview of what the automation does, show it running so you can see it actually works. And then we'll go through and actually build this automation from scratch so you can get an idea of how the process works. So what you see in front of you is what Make calls a scenario, and that's just basically an automation that you can build and run. And these automations can be run either manually one at a time, can be run on a schedule, it can run based on some other triggers. So Make has a lot of different approaches to the scenarios. In this case, we're just going to have it run manually so you can see it working. So this scenario basically takes data from a Google Sheet and updates an order in Shapiro. So in this example, let's say I have a bunch of orders in Shapiro and I want to change the email address in bulk. So I have a Google Sheet, and then using this scenario, it's going to pull the data from the Google Sheet, find the order in Shapiro, update it, and we even have some exception handling so that if the order is not found or the email is already updated. And so based on the different results, there's different branches of what happens in the scenario. Okay, so let's see this in action. So on my screen, I split my screen. I'm showing a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet. On the left side and the right side is this Make scenario. And as you can see on the spreadsheet, I have an order number, I have a shop name, I have the email that I want to update it to, and then I have the status, and that's going to update with what actually the status or the result of the operation is. So just to show you in Shapiro, you can see that the email address on this order is maketest6@shapiro.com, and I'm going to change it to make7. That's just on that first order. So first, let me run it so you can kind of see it in action. Keep an eye on this column here. And then on the right side, you'll see things spinning and some numbers popping up. We'll talk about that, what that all means. But you can kind of see it actually progress as it goes through the operation. So I'm going to hit run. You see things starting to happen. All right, and then you can see column D. And that's it. So what happened here? So first of all, the scenario ran, it pulled this data from the spreadsheet, it found the order in Shapiro, and it updated it. So the first one, it says success updated. Just to show you, if I refresh this order, it does indeed say make7, so it worked. The next one says success already updated, and basically that means that the order already had that email address, so we don't bother updating it. We just said it's already been updated. And the last one is just an example if the order is not found. So we looked for the order in Shapiro, couldn't find it, so we put that result here. And all this, of course, customizable. You can decide to do whatever you want based on different results, but that's just how I built this scenario. So let's just take a little closer look at the scenario itself, and then we'll go through actually building this from scratch. So all these round circles are essentially modules. Make refers to them as modules, and a module can really be anything. They have over 1,600 integrations that have different modules, and that's how you define what should happen in your scenario. Scenarios you read from left to right, so this is the beginning, and then you can kind of see all these dots connect to modules, and then the branches that come out from here. So the first step here is Google Sheets. So Make has a Google integration. You connect to Google, you tell it what sheet, and you basically tell it to pull the data from that sheet. And then we use the iterator module to go through each row on the sheet. Then we use the ship hero module to get the order itself. And then we use this router to decide what to do. And that's where those different statuses come from. So if we see the order needs to be updated, we go to the update order, and then we output the result. If we see that the order's already been updated, we just go straight here and update that to where it said success already updated. And if we see there's an error, we can't find the order, we go to this branch and we update it to an error. So that's basically how the scenario works and the workflow of that scenario. And again, you can build your scenarios to do anything you want. There's just an example of a couple of different modules and some of the functionality that Make has. So let's see how to build this module from scratch. So here's a blank scenario on make.com. Now, the first thing you'll need to access ShipHero is a ShipHero API key. And you can get that by going to your ShipHero account developer users and add a third-party developer. Fill out this form and you'll get a API token and a refresh key. Once you have your refresh token, copy that, and that's all you need. You don't actually need the access token from the developer account. The integration with Make that we built will actually regenerate that using the refresh token. Now, back in Make, we'll start by adding that first Google Sheet module. So click on that plus, and you can see here all the different apps and integrations that Make has. So we'll just search for Google and choose Google Sheets. And then you see the modules that are part of that integration. So within an integration or within an app in Make, there's different modules that have been built. And modules are basically just prepackaged functionality. So you can see some of the different things you have for adding rows, update rows. What we want for now is get range value. Then you need to connect to Google and just do that by clicking add. Hit sign in with Google and it'll take you through the process of connecting to your Google account. You only have to do that once. Once you have that connection, you can use it in any Make module. The next thing is to find the Google Sheet we want to use. So easiest way to do it is you can select from a list and then click here to choose a file. And you can actually search for the file you want to use. So I'll choose my make demo file and I'll use the order update sheet. Again, that's just based on the file I'm using. And the range we want to look at, you go back to the sheet, it's just going to be A through D. So it's just these, this range of columns that we want to use. So we'll do A through D. Let's contain headers and A1 to D1. And that's it. So now we've set up and connected to the sheet we want to use. So next we'll add the iterator. And we do that just by clicking add another module. And we can just search for iterator. That's a make.com module that they built. It's part of their flow control. And now we have to tell Make, where is that data coming from? What is the array of data that it's using? So click on that and you can see it's actually made it very easy for us. What it does is it pulls in the columns from that Google Sheet. So all we have to do is select them. And for our purposes, well, we need our order number, shop name, and the update status. And you'll see why we need that in a minute. But that's all you have to do. You click on that box, choose the ones you want to use, and hit OK. Now, one thing we want to do is, first of all, we don't want to use the header, right? We have the header column. We want to ignore that. We don't need that for our scenario. We also want to ignore any rows that we've already updated. So what we'll do is we'll click on this little wrench icon here and set up a filter. And what that's going to do is allow us to tell Make which rows should I ignore, which rows should I actually do something on. So I'll set up the filter. I'll just call it skip. Call it anything you want. And then what we want to do is in this case, we want to look at the row number and say greater than 1. So basically, we only want to do something on rows that are greater than 1. That means we're going to skip that header column. Now we'll do update status, and we'll say does not equal or does not contain success. What we've done here is we've added a couple of filters. where we don't want to look at the header row, and we don't want to look at any rows where the status is success or contains error. And that basically means if we rerun this scenario again, it's going to ignore any of the ones we've already done. We don't want to waste time, waste operations on updating things again or updating ones that are errored. We just skip those. So now we want to add the Shapiro module. So all we have to do is search for Shapiro and choose the module we want to use. So you can see the modules that we've built so far. We do plan on adding more, but right now the one you want to use is the Get Orders module. Choose the connection to Shapiro. This is where you would put your refresh token in. So you just paste in your refresh token that we got before and give your connection a name. That's going to authorize at Shapiro and complete the connection. Okay, now in the Shapiro Get Order module, what you have to do is define your filters. And that's done easily by clicking on the Add Search Criteria. What we want to do, if you remember, we had the order number and shop name. So we're going to use those to find the order in Shapiro. So the first filter we want to use is order number, and we have to get that from the spreadsheet. And again, makes that very easy to do. So we just click on value, and we choose the order number column from our spreadsheet. And then the second filter is shop name. And again, we'll pull that from the spreadsheet. And since we only really want one result, we'll just change the quantity to 1 and hit OK. So now so far what we've done is we've set up Make to pull the data from Google, go through each one, and find that order in Shapiro. Now we need to add the router to decide which branch to go to. So we just click on our flow control down here and go to router. And every time we click, we'll get another branch. So we'll add a couple of branches. And now we need to define what each branch is going to do. So we'll do the first branch for the one where we want to actually update. So first, we're going to do a filter. And again, so we only want to update if, obviously, we found the order, so the order exists, and the email on the order doesn't already match what we have, what we want to update it to. Here we're going to add the condition where the email from the order, and then this red is from the Shapiro module. So these are the fields that we can look at from the result. So we'll say if the email does not equal, we'll do case insensitive, the email from the spreadsheet. So if the email in Shapiro doesn't match the email in the spreadsheet, and we'll just say ID exists, that tells us we actually found a match. So we found the order in Shapiro, and it doesn't match the email in the spreadsheet. We want to run this module. And this module is going to be the Shapiro update order module. And again, we'll use that same connection we already set up. And in the update order, we need to add 2 pieces of information. First of all, we need the ID of the order. So here we'll just use the legacy ID. You can use the ID as well. And then we need to put in the fields to update. So email address in Shapiro comes under the shipping or billing address. So do field, do email address, and we want to update it with the data from the spreadsheet. So we'll just scroll down to our spreadsheet and choose email. So basically all this is doing is going to use the Shapiro API to update the email address of this order. And the last piece is to update the Google spreadsheets. Remember, we updated it to, let's say, success. So we'll add the module, which is Google Sheet, and we'll choose update a cell. So here again, we have to choose the sheet that we want to update. And now for the cell, remember, it's going to be column D. So in order to define that, we just do D, and then the row that we're working on the spreadsheet. So we do row number. So row number is something that Make exposes in that module. So we want to update, if we're on the second row, this would be D2. And the value is we'll just call it success updated. Now let's look at let's add the branch where the email address has already been updated. So again, we'll make a filter. And in this case, the condition will be where the email equals the email on the spreadsheet. So we'll do case insensitive. So basically, if the email address in ShipHero already matches the email on the spreadsheet, we're going to go on this branch. So we'll just do that same Google Sheet, and we'll do update a cell. And then for this one, we'll just do success already updated. And our last one, we'll do set up a filter. And this is going to be for the branch if the order was not found. So we'll call that error. And here we'll make this a default router. So if for some reason the other ones don't run, this will run. There was some type of error. And then we can go and look at that. So in this case, we'll do the ID does not exist, which means the API did not return any results and that order was not found. And then we'll do the same Google Sheet update a cell. And we'll call it error order not found. That's our scenario. Now, let's see if it actually works. So let me go back to my spreadsheet. And I'm just going to clear these out because, again, we had that filter so that if if it does say success or error, it's going to skip it. And let me change this to make 8 just to show that it actually works. Back on the order, you can see it's make 7, which we updated to before. And what we would expect and hope is that if we run that module, it changes to make 8. So let's run this module. And we'll watch a little closer. You can see it's going through, getting the order, found it, and it's updating the order in ShipHero. Oh, looks like we had a success. Next one's already updated, and this last one, we got that error. So I think it worked. Let's go back to the spreadsheet and see, and it did work. And let's double check on the order in ShipHero, 8. So it all worked. So again, a very simple module conceptually. We can see kind of how that's set up. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, just to show you kind of what these numbers mean is I can go in and see what the actual results were. So if I click on that, I can see each operation and what it actually found. So like in this case, it found this order. Here's all the details of the order. I can see the mod or the operation of updating it. So what I updated it to. So if something weird is happening, you want to understand what's happening, you can go and actually see what make did for each one of those operations. If there was an error, it'll show you that as well. So it would show you either the error from the API or some error in your configuration on make. So they make it really easy to kind of dive in and see what actually happened when this scenario ran. Another thing to keep in mind is each one of these things that runs is what makes called an operation. And actually, if we go back to our integration or the scenario, we can see history and see every time we ran and the details. But one thing you want to keep in mind is that time I ran it was 11 operations. So each operation, and that's important because operations are how make charges. So if you go to the pricing page, you can see how many operations are included in their pricing plans. But keep in mind, looking for and updating 3 orders was 11 operations. So this make works phenomenally well for doing these types of things, but at huge scale, that's where some of the costs may start adding up because they do charge per operation, and doing something even though it's fairly simple, running it once was 11 operations. I definitely recommend looking at your scenarios and understanding how many operations you expect to use. Sometimes you can cut out certain operations. Maybe we don't need to update it differently. If it was a success, we can just skip that one, or combine some of these operations. But that is something to keep in mind because even while you're testing and you're developing your scenario, you may go through a lot of operations, and that could add up. Another thing Make is really great for is doing proof of concepts for workflows. So if you want to build out some workflow using the API, but you want to just do it fast and just see if it works and prove it out, Make will work great for that. And then if you see it's using too many operations, you can always use the API directly. But being able to do that using this user interface makes it a lot easier than writing a lot of code. So it's another great use case for Make.
So clearly, this new tool integration has a lot of potential, and it's super useful. So Yosef, do you have any recommendations for anyone who wants to start building a new automation or scenario on Make.com?
Yeah, so Make has what they call templates, and you can go to templates and just kind of see what's possible. One thing we will be doing is publishing the scenario we just built as a template, so you can just get started with it. And templates allow you basically to use a scenario that's been pre-built, and you plug in your authentication, you connect to Google, you use your API key, but you can basically use the exact same steps that we built. But you can also see Make has many pre-built templates. You can build your own and share them as well. But the possibilities are endless, limited only by your imagination. But yeah, I definitely recommend just finding a template that you want to use, creating it, right? Creating the scenario and just looking through it, running it, seeing how it works, so you understand kind of the Make workflow. Another nice thing you can do is every scenario that's built can be pretty easily shared. And the way to do that is if you go into the scenario and export the blueprint, and the blueprint is basically a JSON file that defines the scenario. So this can be shared. You can send it to somebody. They could just import it and paste it into their scenario builder, and it will add all the modules. So this is a great way of sharing a scenario that maybe you built. You want someone else to use it or someone else to see it. Those blueprints can be exported and sent to anybody. So if you make a really cool scenario, you want to share it, you can take your scenario and create a template out of it, and then publish it and share it with the wider community. So if you come up with a great workflow that involves ShipHero, feel free to make a template, and other people can take advantage of the same thing. We did also add a Make.com category to our developer community, so you can discuss different scenarios, different workflows that you build, ask questions about the modules, the ShipHero module. We can't really provide support for Make itself. So if you're having trouble setting up your scenario, Make has their own community. They have many videos and a help site to help you with that. But if you do have any questions about the actual ShipHero modules, or requests, recommendations, feedback, we'd love to hear about it at community.shiphero.com. So that's an overview of Make. Again, I definitely recommend exploring it, creating a free account, seeing what you can do. It's really easy to get started. So use the ShipHero modules, get some orders, update some orders, and think about how you can use this to make your day-to-day job easier and more efficient.
Awesome, Yosef. Thank you very much. This integration is really, really amazing. Has tons of potential. Like you mentioned, the possibilities are endless. And so if you'd like to check out other feature walkthroughs, click on the top right corner right now. And if you're ready to unlock your e-commerce fulfillment superpowers, visit shiphero.com to schedule a call with us. Thank you for watching and have a great day.